Welcome to the As Colorado as It Gets podcast, brought to you by Colorado's own TGORV. We're talking how to live more adventurously by getting outdoors and making the most of the RV lifestyle.
All right, here we are. We are going to do part 2 of Mythbusters
RV edition.
RV edition. All those myths debunked.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into more myths that are out there. And I think the first one is really this concept that, and I know I almost believed it, right, when I got into this industry, which is that you either knew how to RV or you didn't.
Right.
And RVing, if you didn't know, was just a concept you weren't going to get.
Yep.
And we had a really awesome thing happen. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. So Rachel Walker, who is a local journalist around Northern Colorado, she actually ended up coming and taking a taxa and going out on a trip all the way to Vermont, which I'm super jealous about. And she took the taxa. She, we'll put the link in every space we can here. We'll put the article up here. I want everybody to read this because it was a really fascinating way to go about starting to let people read about about debunking this myth. And so Rachel had never backed up a unit. She'd never pulled anything. And now all of a sudden she's taking her family cross country in this taxa and staying in campgrounds she's never stayed before and learning, how quickly it can change everything around. It's a really cool piece. She's an incredible writer. And so we're glad to have been able to work with her on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the shout out. Yeah. And also, it's just so cool, right? The Washington Post.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to speak to one of our customers.
Yeah. We're really proud of.
I mean, it's just really, really cool. And it speaks to that whole point that you're going to figure this out.
Oh yeah.
Whatever unit you fall in love with that feels right for you, you're going to, there are things you will want to learn. And as time goes on, there are things you will acquire by way of knowledge that will make it easier, faster, more comfortable for you based on your desires and how you want to use your unit. But RVing today is not complex.
No.
We can get you out on the road literally within hours of never having touched one. You can be camping in it and
that night.
This Washington Post article, so cool.
She really spoke to that. She did a great job at speaking to how easy it is. And how in the end, the only thing that she hated about it was that it was ending.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a really cool article. So
we've all seen the meme, right? That goes around from all the campers saying, shout out to all those who have to winterize and put their camper away. Sorry. It's when you get into the concept of camping, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. And it's about memories, and it's, it's a unique experience to take your stuff with you on the road and create your own memories right there, and she did a great job with the article.
A wonderful job.
We just really appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. And she's just super nice person. So thanks, Rachel. We really appreciate you.
Another awesome taxa person. Yep. I think another myth that is out there at some level is that RV camping is what old people do.
And we talked about this a little bit.
What's old, by the way? Because the older I get, the old.
I don't know.
I look at a person in their 20s now, and I think they're like 12.
I kind of feel the same way, but I'm 30. I'm 33, almost 33. And I just, I feel like people, I look at people like my brother who is, 21 years old and going camping. And I'm like, how am I 80 right now? Because I'm 80.
The world has changed. We spoke of innovation in episode 1. The reality is the demographics for camping today are skewed much, much younger than the average probably American would think.
Right.
The average camper is somebody somewhere between you and I.
Yeah.
Today. And that means RV camping.
Yep.
Yes. Can you RV camp well into retirement and beyond? Sure. Absolutely.
And a lot of people do.
You should. Absolutely. That's what you work so hard for. But the cool thing is that people are seeing the value in it now. And I think, COVID will, for years, have had some real, for all of the, let's take politics out of it, but the good and the bad, right, that lingers.
Right.
One of the positive things that COVID has done, I believe, is really, I think our industry, being up as much as it has really speaks to this. It has really put people in a mind frame of, especially when we're lucky enough to live in a place like Colorado.
Right.
The mountains are right there. In an hour, I can be there. I can be with my family. I can be making memories.
Yep.
Nobody can take those away from me. I'm not being exposed to anything. I control kind of as much as I would control at home.
Yep.
The environment. And why not?
Mm-hmm.
And you have people who never thought they would RV camp before who are jumping in and they're falling in love with it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to be a positive, long-lasting. It's going to take a long time for the industry to catch up. And I'm talking about both the manufacturers, campground providers.
Right.
There's just a shortage, right, that has occurred because of this incredible increase. But what a great problem to have that we have more people, in my opinion, 4 kids that spend all day on their technology.
Yep.
As a father, I really have learned to value the moments that we're outside. There's no reason for them to be on their phones.
Right.
No reason for them to be worried about, that they're missing a video game with their buddies. And we're just making memories. And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
So RV camping is not just for,
whatever you feel that old people are at this. I feel like age is just not a factor anymore.
No.
It's just gone.
No, I'll tell you, if you don't RV camp, you're missing out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have whatever opinion you want about who does it. I'm telling you, if you don't, you're missing out. You're absolutely missing out on incredible memories.
Right.
The drive from point A to point B is just as much of the memory.
Right.
And the conversations and just the windshield time and, to take in the world around you.
Yeah.
We're blessed. We live in one of the most beautiful states in the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of you not so much.
Right.
So I apologize ahead of time, but somebody's got to live in Oklahoma.
You can come out here. You can drive out here.
I'm sorry. My wife's from Oklahoma. So it's, inside of our house joke.
They can drive out here.
They can drive out here and we'll show them what it looks like.
Yeah.
See the mountains. Yeah. Okay. I think the next myth, and it's been out there a long time, is that RV stands for ruined vacation.
Interesting.
Humorous, yes. Are there stories we hear along the way? Sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
Those are always those one-ups,
And if you haven't heard our podcast or seen our podcast on camping memories with our owner Jeremy, you should.
Yeah.
He's example number 1 of this. It's hilarious.
And of turning the moment, as I said, the windshield time, the moments of backing things into things and doing, just still the memories that are attached.
Yep, because that's all he remembers, not the bad things that happened.
Yeah. You can talk to, so many people, and that's, again, things come up along the way of any journey.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the memory.
Yeah.
It's absolutely part of the memory. I think, if you think of, the Taxa rally,
mm-hmm.
we had people that came from Colorado, but we had people that came from Michigan,
New Hampshire, Texas,
New Mexico,
all over the place.
And we're talking about some of them took their time. Some of them literally with kids just drove straight through, got to park in the Rocky Mountains, spend a couple of days just interacting with other people. There's kind of great fellowship that comes about through campers. I don't know how to explain it, but it's amazing what a campfire will do.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that just a little bit because I don't even remember exactly what I hit on in that Taxa video with Garrett. But what I did want to talk about is I just remember because I was up there too. I had my own Taxa up there, and we had kind of put my Taxa in a different field from everybody else, just not really for any reason other than to just kind of guide people as they were coming in. Cause it was a trek back in there. But just to guide people. And, even then having all of these people around, they were like, why are you all the way over there? Come over here. Why is your Mantis over there? Why don't you put it right here with ours? We can make a space here. We'll make a space here.
Well, the average Taxa owner, right, probably admittedly loves to get lost and be all alone. But how quickly they love to just be together
I know.
around
It was
a campfire,
fascinating.
sharing stories. I mean,
Singing.
and it went from talking about their campers to real quickly talking about their families, talking about their camping memories, to things that were very near and dear to them. And
I heard so many wedding stories, so many. I mean,
that is
just
the
so many
value
things.
of a campfire,
Mhm.
and that's the experience that is created. And you don't get that when you check into the Hilton and go to room 305.
No, you can't just go hang out with
and,
your neighbors.
I mean, there's something about that experience, whether you're with
Yeah.
your family, whether you're with your friends. In this case, people that they didn't even know
No.
each other. I mean, they literally, that day they checked in, were complete strangers.
Yep.
And fast forward, a few hours to the fire. This was the day before the fire caused us all to run. But let's talk about when we had a good fire.
When we had a
before
good fire
wind,
the night
tornado
before.
picked it up and ran.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was an experience in and of itself. And man,
was.
everybody pulled together quick to figure out what needed to happen.
Mhm.
But that's camping to me.
Yeah.
That's camping, right? The campfire is camping, and you don't get that anywhere else.
No,
For you, I mean, you just recently went to Yellowstone.
I did.
Talk
And
about that.
Yellowstone was incredible. And I will preface it saying, sometimes I can really get in this mindset of, I don't need to go to Yellowstone. I see mountains all the time. I've seen this junk. I don't need to see this anymore. And I really didn't want to go on that trip.
Well,
I
you
was
you were in a hurry.
I was in a hurry, and it was just a lot. And I got there, and I swear, I hope that no one ever has the mindset that I did in saying, oh, well, I'm right here and I see these mountains all the time. I can see mountains anytime I want. I can go see this whenever. Just take the trip.
Yep.
Because Yellowstone was fascinating. I've never seen anything like it.
Mhm.
And the people that we met along the way from being in Yellowstone to the conversations we've had with people from all over the world at that time. And then, going down into Cody and all of the history.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful. And it was so much fun. It was so incredible. So yeah, I guess that would be my takeaway is just take the trip. It's always worth the trip.
Well, and I could talk about whether it be Red Feather in the land we have up at Red Feather that
Mhm.
we've acquired this year. I could talk about the balloon festival and being able
Albuquerque.
to RV amongst thousands of balloons in the skyline. I could talk about the Black Hills and
Yep.
the beauty of the Black Hills in South Dakota. And I would just say this, I've been recently experienced. My wife and I got COVID. My
Yep.
wife got very, very ill. Was in the ICU for almost 9 days.
Yep.
And as a mother of my 4 children and somebody who I've spent my entire, and no joke, life with.
Yeah.
We've dated since we were kids.
Yep.
And to contemplate what the world would be like if I didn't have her in it.
Right.
To tell my kids to go, basically have to say their goodbyes to their mother.
Right.
Through phone because they couldn't see their
See her.
mother.
Yeah.
I have other family members who have diagnoses that are serious right now.
Right.
And, maybe with some of the best planners that I know around how to do life, live debt free and do all these things so that when I retire, I can truly retire.
Right.
What sat with me predominantly since I've went through this experience in August was you can have the best plan for your life, but you don't hold it.
No.
And whatever you believe about
Mhm.
how that plays out.
Right.
I will tell you that you don't control it.
No.
And make those memories now.
Absolutely.
Make the time for them. Make them important. I find myself realizing all of the things that if something had happened to my wife,
Yeah.
that I would live with the regret that she didn't get the opportunity to experience.
Right.
Get your list out and get going on it.
Get going.
And I get the opportunity. I own property up at Red Feather. I'm partial. I think it's beautiful. And I will get there every chance I have with my family. RV there or not, just to take in the beauty, all of the wildlife, to take in the lake. We live in a really beautiful place.
Yeah, we do.
And this world is beautiful. And
It is.
put those things on your bucket list and get to them.
Yeah. And
you
it doesn't
know.
matter, and I totally see where you're coming from. My dad's been in the hospital recently. And
Yeah.
shout out to you, Mark Rose, because I know you're this guy's one of our
Trooper,
number
yeah.
one fan.
Yeah.
But
We got to get him a t-shirt.
we got to get him a t-shirt. that poor guy. Anyway, the memories from those trips are something that even if it all goes wrong, is all you're going to remember.
Yeah.
So just take it anyway. It's things are going to happen.
Yeah, we live
happen.
in a world with just so much uncertainty right now. There's so much fear out there. I try not to preach what I believe, but the reality is fear is a nasty place to live. Do things out of a desire to experience the world around you.
Yeah.
Enjoy people while you can, and realize that really nothing's promised to us past that.
No, and don't let one instance ruin the whole trip.
Yeah. You're gonna blow a tire.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have
hit something.
You're gonna have something hit you, or you hit it. You're gonna. I mean, your camping trip will not go exactly the way you envisioned, but those will be the memories that you've created.
Yeah.
And make them. Don't let anybody tell you can't. You shouldn't. There's not ever going to be a better time. You know, and money is not something you're going to take with you when you go.
Nope.
So spend it.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I've talked to some really close friends, and they're like, you're making some big purchases. I'm like, you know what I realized? I realized that if I lost my wife, would it have mattered how much money was in the bank account?
Right.
And I'm going to do everything in my power to get to work on our bucket list, because that's life. That's real life.
Right.
And I just have a new appreciation for that. And camping is so intertwined with that for me.
Absolutely.
Just the memories. So guys, get out there.
Get out there. Yeah.
I think another myth, we got serious there for a minute.
We did.
Wow.
We've never done that before. Welcome to that was a little bit of emotion.
Oh boy. Another myth, and this is really there's some points to be made here, is that RVs are just too expensive. Let me say this. Tara, you know as well as I do, because you put all of these units in our system when they come in and you see what's going on.
Yeah.
There are very real increases in costs.
Absolutely.
And again, let's keep politics out of it, but you've all seen the pictures of all of the barges sitting out in the middle of the ocean outside of LA waiting to get into Long Beach and get that product off of there.
Yep.
You can believe that's happening for whatever reasons you can believe it's happening, but you guys are telling you to buy your Christmas presents months ahead of time because they're afraid there won't be any Christmas presents because they're all sitting on. I mean, it's impacting every industry.
It is
out
impacting
there.
it,
Absolutely. The steel market being, something that the United States has not done a real good job, in my opinion, of getting their hands on.
Yep.
We're dependent on so many others for steel. So there is truth in increases are real and increases are happening. We have units that were $50,000 last year.
Yeah.
That in a 21 floor plan that will be $58,000 in 2022, based on nothing more than the increase of steel. Okay, I call that a incredibly significant increase.
Yep.
Now, I want you to know RVs are still very affordable, attainable. And again, based on the emotional conversation we just had, let me tell you what. Hopefully you can connect to the need to create memories. And when we break it down for you through our financing options, that are available to you, we're talking about potentially not even dollars a day in difference. Okay. There's still plenty of ways to get into this market. Not every camper is $200,000. Not every camper is $100,000. Not every camper is $50,000.
Yep.
We're going to find a camper that's right for you, that will work for you and get you out and about, because that's all that matters. And when you see financing, we've talked about this in our financing episodes previously, the terms. I mean, the terms allow you to do this so much longer than a average car loan. So if you're thinking, I'm going to have to pay off, $50,000 in the next 5 years, the answer is no, you're not. You're going to get a term that is extended much longer than that if that's what you want.
Right.
Okay. We can get you in many cases with next to nothing down. Mm-hmm. Okay. $500, $1,000, whatever that may be. And we can get your payments to be, I'm going to tell you, less than a night or two at a Hilton a month. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I've said Hilton a few times. I love Hilton, but I mean it.
Yeah.
For the cost of a couple nights of hotel room, you have an experience that you can take out and use all month.
Agreed.
When you want. And so RVing is not too expensive.
It's not. And, I've heard people saying, oh, well, we'll just wait until, that cost goes back down. Don't wait.
It's not probably going to go back down.
The projections for the next couple of years, we are strong. It is steady. People want this. They want to be out there. And wood and steel aren't changing anytime soon. And so, don't wait, because it's not worth it to wait. It's not expensive enough to wait.
I think the cost of waiting is probably more significant than the cost of getting in now.
Right.
If you are thinking about buying an RV, let us help you now. Let us help you while we have year-end models that are coming out. Let us help you while we've got record used inventory.
Yes.
Let us help you while we have numerous paths towards whatever your end game might be. But let us help you now.
Because you can sit there and wish for days that you bought 3 years ago. Well, I wish I'd bought 3 years ago also, but I didn't. I also wish I owned an incredible amount of URLs that I should have picked up in the 90s that I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Wish all day, but just go ahead and do it.
I think the final myth I want to debunk, and I think this is an important one because we saw this surge when COVID came about into the market of customers for a product, and then you see it kind of withdraw, and you're hearing that the demand is still there, and why are the customers not maybe necessarily there in force like they were? And I think it's because the customer's been conditioned to believe that there is a lock on product. And I'll tell you, it got a little crazy
itchy.
At one point.
That was a little scary.
Our lot that we're used to having several 200, 300, 400 pieces on. At one point, we did get down to 17 units.
17 units.
Which
I've never seen before.
That is truth. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you that today I have close to several hundred pieces to show you.
Yeah.
And inventory is getting much, much, much better.
It is.
And here's what I want you to know, if anything. I really would encourage you, please don't wait. Because if you think you're going to wait until camping season comes about in March or April and want to buy a unit and use it for next season, you're probably going to end up on the back of a very long list of people.
Yep.
And you're very likely to, no matter where you buy from, us or elsewhere, not have your RV to use for the bulk of next summer.
Yep.
It will be the people who buy between now and March that will be able to be much, much more confident that they have a camping season to use their unit next year.
Yep.
I hate to see the people in Colorado. It's a game with, campsites, right? On New Year's Eve, they stay up until midnight to get the next 6 months of booking. Well, don't go booking campsites if you haven't got a confirmation on when you're going to get your camper.
Yeah.
Let's put things in the right order here. Make sure you start talking to your RV dealer about the product you want. We'd love to help you. And whatever you choose, just make sure you get on it sooner rather than later.
The deals in the off season, come on.
Yep.
It's no different with campgrounds. The deals in the off season are fantastic, not to mention show pricing. And that's why we would encourage people to do it now. Get in for now, get in for the end of the year, get in for the show pricing on 2022 models, because it's going to go, and it's going to go quick. Next year. So
we are, again, we appreciate all of your time, you guys. Hopefully we've debunked some myths out there that might be keeping you from making a move. We'd love to debunk any other myths you come up with. So send those into our dealership, 970-313-4337. Ask for the podcast voicemail. Email us at podcast@tgorv. Send us your funny camping pictures. We'll make sure to share them, send you something in return. We really, on behalf of my team and we really want to wish you guys a super, I think the holidays are just so important. And, I hope that you guys, all of you out there, have an incredible Thanksgiving with your families. We think that's a really, really important time. Again, it's all about memories. Our dealership will actually be closed from Thanksgiving Day through Monday morning following.
Yeah, but so we will be gone all 4 days.
Yes.
Nobody will be here.
Our expectation is that our families that work for us are out with their families making memories.
Yeah.
And so we will be closed through Monday. Obviously, Christmas is coming up. I think we'll probably do our next podcast out in front of the dealership or out in the dealership so you can see how we go all crazy for Christmas.
We have a good time.
Let you see that.
We are doing photos for our customers this year. Yeah. So let us know if you guys are interested in those photos. Come on in, set up a time. I will have a link down below in YouTube to make sure that we have a schedule set up for people who want to come in for family photos by the fireplace. And that's completely, that's on us.
And if you haven't been to our dealership, then maybe you're lacking some context.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we have the perfect Christmas backdrop for your family photos. We have a beautiful fireplace, a huge Christmas tree next to it. It's decorated. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we want to, our marketing team has incredible photo skills, and we'd love to get you a professional photo of your family at no cost to you for being a customer of ours, that you can use for your holiday photos. Come in, take advantage of that, because it really looks beautiful. And here it looks like you're in the lodge.
Yeah. Get some coffee, mention this. We'd love to talk to you and get you a podcast t-shirt and get your pictures taken. So.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And we look forward to talking to you later. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to help others find the content you love, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Or if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave us a like and let us know what you'd like to see from us next. For all things TGORV, including extra content, follow us on social media at TGORV Co. or visit our website at tgorv.com/podcast. There you'll find all the links to your favorite podcast platforms, a place to submit comments or questions about this episode, or to submit your adventures for us to share on social media. Give us a call at 970-313-4337 and ask for our podcast line to be featured on our next show. Thanks for listening. Can't wait to have you back.